Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Kevin, also known as Phoenix, and I have exciting news that I'm going to be kickstarting off a new series called Why You Should Play. Now, Why You Should Play is going to be a deck review series where I look at popular metagame decks within Modern, within Standard, maybe even Pioneer if it ever comes back. And I'm going to be going over why you should play them. Pretty much just a general deck review, kind of go over like the major notable cards in it and why it is so strong. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So for this week's Why You Should Play, we have Mono Green Aggro. Now, Mono Green Aggro is what I believe to be the best aggressive deck in the format right now. It is very quick, it is reliable, it really packs a beating. And I think that this would be a great deck for anyone looking to grind the arena ladder, trying to hit Mythic, or maybe even just get a good 4-0 or 5-0 at their LGS. So stay tuned to look at some of the notable creatures and spells that are going to get us to these victories. So to start off our notable creatures, we have Werewolf Pact Leader, which is a 2-mana 3/3, which is already great in itself. And to add on to that, we have Pack Tactics. So if we attack with a total combined power of 6 or more, we're going to be able to draw a card. Who doesn't love to draw cards in green? But it honestly just kind of goes with the flow of what the deck's trying to do anyways for just turning cards sideways, so might as well refill the hand and put some more creatures on the battlefield while we're at it. Not only that, but for 4 mana we can also make this a 5/3 with trample, so definitely can be good to like break through a wall of a bunch of small creatures or just get through for that last bit of damage to end the game. For our next notable creature, we have Kanzandu Mammoth. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but it is a flip card. So on the front end, which is normally what we're going to be casting it as, it is going to be a 3-mana 3/3 creature with landfall. Whenever you play a land, it's going to get +2/+2. So ideally, you're going to play this on turn 3, and on turn 4, play a land, be able to swing for a 5/5. Very great body, and honestly, just the ability is just activated by playing the game naturally. You know, same thing with Werewolf Pact Leader, just turning cards sideways was already part of the game plan. Playing lands is already part of the game plan, so might as well just get the bonuses just from playing the game like you normally would. But let's say we're a little shy on the mana. Well, never fear, on the backside we have a ETB tap land. Definitely can work out in a pinch and make more keepable hands in the future. And for our third and final notable creature, we have Old Growth Troll. Now, Old Growth Troll is not that impressive when I first looked at it, but the more I played with this card, I became more and more impressed with it. Started to really like it. So for 3 mana, we get a 4/4 trample. Again, kind of above its rate for the mana cost. But whenever it dies, we get to enchant a basic forest, and this is going to allow us to tap for double green, or we can pay 1 and sacrifice the land to create a 4/4 troll with trample. So the reason why this card's so good is that even if your opponent deals with it, well, they're going to have to be able to deal with it again. Effectively 2-for-1-ing your opponent within a single card is just amazing. Definitely very good creature. Would definitely recommend playing 4 of it in your deck. And moving on, we are going to be moving to the notable spells, and this is going to include everything from instants to sorceries to artifacts and enchantments. So first up on our list, we have Blizzard Brawl. Now, the role that Blizzard Brawl is going to be playing in our deck is that it is going to remove the blockers before we even get into the combat step. So with Blizzard Brawl, we have 1 mana. We're going to choose a creature we control and a creature we don't control. They're going to fight, and if we have 3 or more snow permanents, our creature gets +1/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. So this is just going to be great because we're already playing the snow forest, so we're more than likely going to get the additional benefit. And even if it would seem like it's a trade, they gain indestructible, so more than likely we're going to win every single fight that we come across, even in the mirror match. And just an amazing card, running 4 of it in the deck. Just clear out the blockers before we get the attack in, so that way we can end the game as fast as possible. Of course, what kind of green deck would it be if it did not run Ezekiels Chariot? So Ezekiels Chariot is an artifact vehicle that is a 4/4 when it's a creature and it has crew 4. When it ETBs, it's going to make 2 cats, and whenever you attack with it, you're going to be able to create a copy of a token that you already control. Now this is important because not only can it copy the cats, but if you're running any other kind of like tokens, maybe some treasures or a clue, it can also copy those as well. So I have always been very impressed with Ezekiels Chariot. It's always been seeing results, and it's just such a great rate on 4. Definitely playing for this in the deck. Next up, we got the first enchantment of the deck, and that is going to be Ranger Class. Now, Ranger Class is a 2-mana enchantment that is honestly just an amazing card. 2 mana, when it enters the battlefield, we're making a 2/2 creature, so we're already on rate for the mana that we're spending. But not only that, but we can invest more mana into this card whenever we see an opportunity to do so. For 2 mana, we can also get the static ability of whenever we attack, we can put a +1/+1 counter on one of our attacking creatures. And for the late game effect, if we really need that extra grind potential, we can pay 4 additional mana, and we can look at the top card of our library at any time. You may play creature spells from the top of your library. So this card kind of does it all. It makes a body, it pumps our creatures, and it also allows us to grind. Amazing class, definitely running multiples of this card, anywhere from 3 to 4 I would say. Just an all-star, all-around great card. And the last notable spell that we have in the list is Unnatural Growth. Now, this was a card that I kind of overlooked because it seemed very win more in my opinion, because for 5 mana you get an enchantment with, at the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. So for me, I just kind of envisioned, alright, I have a board state of creatures, probably maybe 2 or 3, double their power and toughness, and then I swing out. It kind of felt really, just like I said before, win more. But the more I played with this, the more I saw that, wait, this actually breaks the mirror stalemate. So if they have creatures, we have creatures, automatically we just win the trades. And also, if maybe you're shy just 3 or 4 damage, you play this card and all of a sudden you win. So this card definitely does win games out of nowhere. So I've been very impressed with this card, and definitely have been seeing it appear more and more in these types of decks. So wanted to mention it here as a notable card of the deck. Moving on to the notable lands, we have 1 notable lands because mostly this deck just runs snow-covered forests. However, we do have the Faceless Havens. Now, creature lands have been a pretty dominant part of this meta so far. I don't think there's really any deck that isn't running at least some amount of creature lands, so this deck is no exception. We're running 4 Faceless Havens just as another creature in case our opponent does have the board wipes, does have the removal. Well, at least we'll have a land that we can just sink our mana into and get in for that last little bit of damage. And that's going to do it for all of our notable cards. And moving on to the conclusion of how I rate this deck. This deck is really strong. It's very aggressive, it's very powerful, and if your opponent doesn't have the removal, then they're just going to lose if they can't answer multiple threats. Now, I will say that this deck is a little weak to board wipes. It's going to be a little hard to come back if you play out your hand and then all of a sudden your opponent plays 1 card and 1 for 3 is you. But that can be played around. You just have to be a little conservative with your threats if you know that your opponent does run board wipes. So overall, I would give the deck about a 7 out of 10. Definitely a very strong deck, a very good deck, and I can see why it's been gaining results. And that's going to do it for this week's episode, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this debut of the series. Please leave a comment and like and subscribe down below. Let me know in the comment section if you like this type of deck review, if you want to see more, or maybe what kind of deck you would like me to review. I would love to see it, and as always, I'll see you next time.